Sabbath Christian Church's online sermon. God made Jesus, as we will note in a moment, the Lord of the Sabbath. Food is a particularly interesting one. As it says in Luke, the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. And there is proof and evidence about that. It starts seeing Jesus as the Son of Man. After being baptized, Jesus came immediately from the water. John was baptizing these people. And behold, the heavens were opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending as a dove and lighting on him. God's Spirit, his mind, who he is, became a part of Jesus' mind. And behold, a voice out of the heavens says, proving to what we've been talking about, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." So let's take a look at Jesus being the Lord of the Sabbath as far as food is concerned. He was passing through the grain field on the Sabbath, and his disciples began to make their way along, picking the heads of grain. Now you pick the heads of grain. These things are tough in the ground, don't want to come out, and then you have to brush them and shove them and mess around with them before you can eat them. And the Pharisees were saying, "Look, why are they doing what's not lawful on the Sabbath?" And he said to them, "Have you never read what David did when he was in need and became hungry?" He says how he entered the house of God, the high priest, and Jesus said to them, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath." In those days, people were serving the Sabbath rather than the Sabbath serving them. It's simple. 6 days shall you labor. 7th day is a day of rest. God made the day holy for us to rest. So the Sabbath was made for man. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. Now, it happened also that he was passing through some grain fields, and disciples were picking heads of grain and rubbing them in their hands and eating the grain. Again, God did not make people to starve on the Sabbath. If they need to eat and the food's available and they have to do something to eat, they're not breaking the Sabbath, they're keeping the Sabbath, making it a day of rest, not a day of starvation. And they were rubbing them together and eating the grain. What you do is not lawful on the Sabbath. So this is another verse saying a similar thing. And Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath, and his disciples became hungry. And when the Pharisees saw this, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath." He says, "But what I say is greater than the temple here. As you or the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." And he ordered the 5 loaves and 2 fish. Looking up toward heaven, he blessed the food. Breaking the loaves, he gave it to the disciples, and the disciples gave it to the crowds. And the few leftover pieces. There were about 5,000 men who ate and women. He went on to the mountain by himself to pray when the evening was done. So he fed even those people, because the Sabbath was made for man. And Jesus is the Lord of the Sabbath. Amen. And thank you for watching and listening.